Okay, what is up people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well as always. If you are enjoying the content, guys, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go subscribe. But liking the stream will also help, so do appreciate that. Also, do hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. And check out the Telegram channel, link in the description to that to see any trading updates. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope you are well. More beat me to it. Hope you are doing good. Welcome back to the stream. Boyan, Euro USD, we'll take a look. Daily time frame, no problem. What's up, Anis? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning, FX Wolf. Welcome to the stream. Yes, Euro USD coming up. FX Wolf, Euro Yen, Euro Aussie, no problemo. Good morning, Tashi. Welcome to the stream. I'm long Euro Yen for 3 days. Bro, are you sure what you're doing? Scalping? What do you mean? Am I scalping Euro Yen? I am not scalping. But yeah, I mean, the M pairs have been very bullish, so kudos to you. But I've been petrified from the yen pairs over the past few weeks, so I'm not jumping into anything with the yen pairs. Morning, Sculpey. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're well. Welcome. Appreciate that from the moderators. Short. Oh, we got someone shorting Euro yen, long and short. Okay, so I will take a look at Euro yen. We'll go through a bunch of yen pairs. But first, let me just get Euro USD out of the way. So Euro USD, as I've been saying all week, I've been looking to short. But I haven't really got my entry. I haven't got my entry how I liked it to. I'm already starting to look a little bit bearish. We had a bit of a drop this morning from London session. As we can see, price kind of spewed over. And yeah, it's annoying because it didn't really sit up how I wanted it to, but price is really quite far from the level I've been wanting to short from, as I was discussing coming into the week, which is this level here around 1.08. So unless we have a big retracement and price excuse me, decides to go back and retest it, that would be very, very nice, but I'm not too sure we'll see that. Already looking pretty bearish, and I wouldn't be too surprised if Euro USD does just rolls over back to the lows here. That remains the plan, that remains the analysis. On the daily chart, it's kind of just the same analysis, same plan really. We pull back into a nice area, we retest it. I like the wicks down the daily chart. We're starting to see some bearish momentum on the daily come through. Not really a big shift just yet. We still need to see how this candle does close in the next 12 hours or so. But in terms of direction and targets, this is what I'm expecting us to reach, which is the price swing low. And for a longer term target, still looking at this price swing low down here. So that remains the outlook for Euro USD. Maybe we'll see some momentum in that direction today. I mean, so far we are. So let's see if that will sustain. But yeah, it's a tricky one because nothing really set up for me. We did see some nice momentum there, but that was just as the daily candle was closing. Then we had a consolidation yesterday, and now price is looking a little bit better. So it's been difficult to get an entry, but if it does come up, like I said, I will be interested to short. I'll go through Euro Yen in a moment and Euro Aussie as well. Oh, okay, not me. Yeah, just hoping. I think the sales will hold today. Well, yeah, I mean, that's why you would be shorting FX Wolf. But yeah, we'll take a look at Euro Yen, and we'll go through a few yen pairs as well. What's up, D Forex trader? Welcome to the stream. So Euro Yen has been pushing just as much as any other yen pair. Really, we've kind of been having that slow grind higher. And again, I don't like the price action. This slow grind higher gives me heebie-jeebies. This is kind of what we did there. Boom. I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to happen again. The market's very, very volatile right now. I know we're kind of just slowing down, but in my view, it's kind of like the calm before the storm. So that's why I'm a bit apprehensive trading the yen pairs. If we do have another sell-off, comes back to some support, then yeah, not a bad buy. At least you've got the sell, and now you're expecting price to rally. But getting involved now in any longs is a scary time. And if you are in longs, like Moore said he is, then this would be a good time to start managing the trade, protecting yourself against any downside, maybe taking some partials and paying yourself could be a smart move. And likewise, sells is not a bad shout as well. Not really my cup of tea, since we've got all the major time frames still pointing up. So daily, weekly, monthly, we still do have confident bullish trends on all of those major time frames. So when that's the case, I don't really like to go against that. Not that you can't get a successful trade, it's just that I like to stay with that overall trend. If all the three major time frames are up, very rarely I would go against it. But it's not a bad place where we're coming into right now. We could see some downside from there, possibly. But yeah, a bit more of an aggressive trade because of the current conditions, but it does make some sense there. So of course, if it fits your plan, ticks the boxes, execute. Worst case scenario, you're stopped out for a loss. As long as you're managing your risk, it's nothing detrimental. But yeah, what's with the emojis, mate? Okay, so I will take a look at Euro Aussie next. Gold is holding the higher low on the 4H, but the 50 MA is providing to be a challenge to break. Okay, I'll go take a look at gold. Haven't actually been keeping tabs with gold. Bernard, after you're done with yen, can you analyze pound Aussie? Yeah, I'll go for Euro Aussie, then I'll take a look at pound Aussie after. You don't think it'll reach 168? I do think we can get 168 because, of course, this is where all that momentum came from. So, again, it's kind of if, buts, maybes, coulda, wouldas. You know, I'm not really too interested about where price might go, will go. It's just that if there is a setup for me, then I'm interested and where my targets would be. If I did buy down here, then naturally my targets would be over here, but I'll be trading a stop loss behind this. So yeah, if I'm favoring the higher time frame trend, which I am, then there's a good chance we can get even past 168 back to 170. But I'll just be making sure that if that doesn't happen, I'm protected. So, you know, if the trend on the higher time frame does continue, I expect us to get back to the high, which is more or less 169, 170. But because of the current behavior we're seeing, another one of these drops isn't so far-fetched from happening. So as long as you're protecting yourself from that, then yeah, we could get to 168. We can go a lot further as well. Morning, Ben. Welcome to the stream. Are you in any positions? Yes, I am. I'm short Euro Aussie. I managed to get a trade on that one. I said Euro Aussie and Euro USD were the top of my watch list for the week. Didn't really manage to get a trade in Euro USD, but Euro Aussie did give me a nice confirmation. I was actually at the gym at the time, so yeah, I posted the entry in the Telegram a little bit late because that's when I got back from the gym. But I've been eyeing up this one since last week, so it's not like a spontaneous trade I just randomly took at the gym, but the entry came there. So that's when I did take the entry. But yeah, floating in a little bit of profit, still expecting a lot more downside for this one. I'm looking for us to come right back down to the lows here at 1.61784. So I do still favor a lot more downside with Euro Aussie. We're testing some really nice broken support time resistance. It's a pretty healthy pullback. Whip out the old Fibonacci from the high to the low. Let's make sure we can see it. There we go. We've just about clipped the 50%, almost 0.618, and come back to retest some nice structure there as well. So I'm looking for this to continue at least back to the prior low, and then we've got the daily level just below. So that is the plan behind the Euro Aussie short. I like the structure, nice momentum as well. Daily chart, weekly chart look good. Anticipating that this is going to be the next lower high in this bearish sequence here. So if that is the case, then there's a very good chance we are coming back to test this low. So yeah, that's where I get my directional bias from, and then the entries on the retest of that level, and the entry signal was the bearish engulfing on the 4H chart. As we can all see there, really nice textbook bearish engulfing, push up, shift of momentum, entered with a stop loss a few pips above the high. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, a little bit annoyed about Euro USD because this was actually my preferred setup, mainly because the risk reward is a little bit better than Euro Aussie. And I think we can go really, really far, especially for trading stop loss. You know, things could go really, really well with this position. So I'm hoping maybe I can get a pullback, but we shall see. Beggars can't be choosers, of course. Andrea, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Okay, where was that? Pound Aussie, I said I'll take a look at next. Pound NZD will go through as well. I'll go through gold first. So many messages getting removed there from Scalpy. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'll go through gold, pound NZD, pound Aussie, or Euro NZD. Okay. Okay, that's what I thought I'm watching. Yeah, as long as you're protecting your downside, because especially with the yen pairs, it's a little bit different case to the other currencies because we're seeing those kind of flash crashes, if you will, which we're not kind of seeing with any other currency market. So you have to take that into consideration. As a trader, we're here to make money, but at the same time, we're here to protect our risk as well. So as long as you're managing accordingly, then we can probably get to 168. What's up, Misha? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Ben, the Euro Aussie shorts look nice. I'm short GA from last week. Okay, nice. Still holding. What's your targets with pound Aussie? How far are you looking to take that one? Because that one's got a lot more room back to the lows than Euro Aussie. Anyway, let's take a look at gold. So, gold hasn't really changed much in price since we last spoke on stream yesterday. I think we're around here and price has just gone sideways since then. Looks like gold's waiting for some news, but we don't really have much news this week. We do have some jobless claims in the afternoon. And yes, gold, we do have Bank of England. What the? Yes, Boyan just got another account. Being hit by the spammers today. What is going on? Anyway, so gold hasn't really changed much in price. Last time we spoke, we're over here, but the analysis still remains the same, which is a break of the high here at 23.26. If we can break through that high and also break through the high there on the left as well, that would be very, very favorable. If we can break through that high there too, then subsequently I'll be looking at pullbacks, a retest of structure, and a continuation back to 2400, which is the high. So yeah, gold I remain very bullish on. Yes, it's having some trouble breaking through some resistance, and the 50, about to type 50 there, the 50 EMA, which we discussed yesterday as well. Is that still hugging price? Yeah, it is more or less. That's hugging price very well, actually. So yeah, if we can break through that, then I think we've got a nice trade on our hands, because essentially, again, still looking at this as a bigger pullback and a continuation higher up. So yeah, gold, still looking at longs. Need to see a break of structure, and then we can look at longs. Silver, likewise as well. We're coming into some bearish territory now, so if you're not really long, now's not the best time to buy. We could see some downside. But then if you do see something like that, then yeah, looking at push back to 29.2. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing. But dollar's looking relatively strong today. So yeah, that might not help out gold longs. It might mean that gold struggles to break that level today. We'll see what the news does in the afternoon, of course. But right now, dollar's looking pretty strong, so that's probably hindering gold a little bit. And then yeah, dollar pairs looking pretty bearish across the board. Anyway, I'll go through pound Aussie, and I'll take a look at Euro NZD. Russ, too much drama in Japan today. I mean, I have no idea what's going over there, so you're our correspondent, mate. What's up, Jeremiah? Welcome to the stream. Morning, Lauda. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. What's your opinion on NAS, S&P? Are we bullish, going to break the high again? I'll go through the indices together in a moment. Let me just go through pound Aussie and Euro NZD. I'm looking to shave a lot of my GA position at 1.885. Okay, let's see where that is. 1.885. 1.885. I guess more or less around here. I'm not too far away from that. Yeah, I mean, pound Aussie, Euro Aussie, of course, very similar pairs. And I do have a bearish bias for this one as well. We had a lot of rejection up around these parts here. I think you said you short from last week or something like that, so maybe your entries around there. So yeah, in some nice healthy profit there, and I do think we've got more downside as well. Pound entity, I discussed this one on my weekly analysis. I said if you can hold this area, I'm looking for longs, but it does not look like we're holding that area. So we might actually be crashing through. So if that's the case, then we might be seeing some more downside, especially for Euro NZD, which is the one I do prefer. If we can break through this level of support, then I'm looking at a big move to the downside for Euro NZD, and a push back down to 1.74300. That is the outlook I do have for Euro NZD. So yeah, essentially just looking at that lower high forming right now, just purely consolidation really. So if we can break through that, that'd be fantastic. And then as I've been saying all week, just looking for the pullbacks after a retest of that level, hopefully, or maybe a retest of a level further down, but looking at a lot more downside for Euro NZD there. So yeah, pound NZD looks like more downside. Pound Aussie still bearish on. Euro Aussie, of course, I'm short, still bearish on that one, and Euro NZD as well. So all those kind of little group of markets there, pretty bearish on them, pretty bearish. Okay, so okay, a few pairs to catch up on. Okay, I'll go through the video and then I'll take a look at was that Aussie CAD? Maybe I'm seeing things I thought so. Oh yeah, I did see Aussie CAD. So yeah, I'll take a look at NVIDIA, Aussie CAD, and I'll go through some indices as well, US 30, US 500. What's up, Claire? Welcome to the stream. Thoughts on GA? Yeah, like I said, pretty bearish on GA at the moment. I do think we can see a lot more downside, and even a push back to the prior low as well, which is all the way back down here. Bit more of a aggressive target, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get there. If you're looking at opportunities, then this is a nice area for a pullback. And I'll keep an eye on this low here as well. Either one of these areas could send us back down. But yeah, we've been very consistent with the lower highs. 1, 2, 3, bit of a fake out there, but 4, looking at 5. So yeah, that remains the plan with pound Aussie. So let me go take a look. I've never looked at NVIDIA before, so this will be my debut. Okay, which one are we using? It'd be nice if I could spell it. Yeah, this one's a little bit cleaner. Okay, so I mean, it's just very bullish, really. There's not a lot of technical analysis here, apart from buy the dips, really. Yeah, I would be expecting price to nestle back at the highs pretty soon, judging by the momentum and everything. We just printed another higher low over here. So higher low there, 2, 3. Would be looking for another one and then a push up. In terms of areas of interest, not very clean. I mean, we do have this high here, which price is retesting, but I wouldn't be too surprised if we did dip below before pushing through. There's not really a level which I would consult below that. But then again, we could hold that same level. But yeah, in terms of the direction, it's still very bullish. So I'll be expecting a push back to highs pretty soon. As long as we don't break through this low here, then there's a very high chance we'll get back to 88.6. So yeah, just looking for the pullbacks essentially. I mean, there's a brief pause in the market over here. We could come and test that before pushing up. But either which way, you're looking at buying the dips really. Okay, so let me go over to the indices and I'll take a look at Aussie CAD. So yeah, with US 30, S&P, NAS, I am still bullish on these ones. I do think we're most likely just looking at printing in that next higher low to then push higher, especially with S&P and NAS. I think they look the best. Really nice, healthy move to the upside, leaving behind some healthy structure to retest. If we can get a pullback into this area, that would be nice. And then I'm looking at push it back to the high there at 5276, basically the all-time high. So yeah, in terms of bullish structure, I'm liking what I'm seeing. It was very corrective last week, but after this big move here, finishing the week off, that's kind of changed the characteristics for me. And again, as I said on the daily chart as well, we've had a massive rally to the upside. I do think price is just having a natural breather, printing in its next higher low, looking for a move back to the higher there at 5276. So I'm expecting a push back to highs. US 30, same thing as well. I'm looking at this as the next higher low in relation to this prior low there. So there's a very high chance we get back to the high. Same with NAS. I think there's a very high chance we do get back to the high there as well. And this becomes our next higher low. So if that is the case, again, you're just looking at pullbacks. Again, we're coming to some areas where we might see some downsides, and it looks like we are seeing that. So I'll keep an eye out on areas like such to buy back up again and find that next high low. We've got one over here, second, third, and anticipating a fourth, maybe a retest there or a retest there, something like that. But in terms of the direction, looking at push back to the all-time high, 18,453. So yeah, indices, I do expect more upside. Very bullish for the time being. I think we can see a bit of downside, some retracement. It looks like dollar's seeing some strength as well, so that might take us down a little bit, but that could just give us our pullback to then long. So yeah, I would keep an eye out on longs on the indices after a pullback. Aussie CADs, I haven't really been looking too much at. Price action is a little bit difficult to tell what price is trying to do here. I mean, higher time frames, more weekly, monthly, I'm still very bearish, but daily I'm getting mixed signals, and yeah, lower than that I'm getting mixed signals as well. So we have come back to a big level. Naturally not a bad place to sell, but how far do we go? Is this price looking to print in another lower high to push down? I'm not sure I'm that confident on that move. It might just be a bit of a breather for them price to push back up again. So if you are looking at shorts here, it's not a bad place to short from, of course, but I wouldn't try and overstate my welcome. Maybe this area could be a nice place for a target. I'd even watch out for the high there as well. But yeah, naturally, we're at a very solid level of resistance. We can see previously, massive move to the downside from that price. Could be looking at a nice double top. Should we get one more rally into the high? And that could be a nice sell. But of course, 0.9, 0.895 are definitely areas where, you know, taking some partials or managing a trade, trading a stop loss could make a lot of sense there as well. So I would watch out for that. But yeah, I have to say I'm not a big fan of the price action on Aussie CAD. It's a little bit all over the place. Again, I prefer markets that have a relatively clear trend, especially when I can kind of look at the higher time frames and be in synchronicity to one direction. That is my preferred market conditions. Right now for Aussie CAD, it's a little bit of hit and miss. So yeah, shorts look good because of where we're trading, of course, but I wouldn't look to try and push that too far because direction isn't clear. BTC, I will take a look, no problemo. Gold entry. Yeah, okay, I'll take a look at gold in a moment, but gold's still got a lot of work to do before I look to take any entries. But yeah, for BTC, we look bearish last time I saw. Yeah, still are looking pretty bearish. Looks like we're forming these lower highs here as well. So yeah, with with Bitcoin, it's not looking good for the bulls. It's not looking good for the bulls. The fact is we had some nice momentum, but it's kind of resulted in not much. We haven't taken out any key structure yet. It's just been a bit lackluster. So I would not be surprised if we're going to go through another bearish cycle here. And as I was mentioning yesterday, these are some key prices I will keep a close eye on: 52K, 48K, where Bitcoin could be slowly moving towards before we might print in that next higher low. Because from a technical standpoint, I'm still liking this momentum here. It's a really big rip to the upside, and the fact is we're still very corrective on our way down. So like price is kind of, hitting the downside very hard and seeing big momentum candles. We're still very corrective. So this leads me to believe that this is just most likely another pullback. I want to find our higher low somewhere, and I'm looking at 52 and 48K as prices were likely to do so. Same thing with Ethereum as well. I'm liking the high over here around 26.37 as a place where we could come into and maybe see that next high low and push on. So with Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm still bullish technically on them, but we might be going through some more downside in the time being, which could last maybe a couple of weeks, maybe even longer, depends on how price moves before we do get to those prices down there. But yeah, for the time being, more short, medium term bias, I will be favoring downside for Bitcoin. Same thing for Ethereum as well. So yeah, price has not been good there. So yeah, for gold, as I was saying, I just want to see a break higher, then I'll look to long. So something like this, and then I'll look to long. Because essentially what I'm looking for, similar to what I just described on Bitcoin, is we've had a really nice impulse to the upside. I'm looking at a correction of that, and now I'm looking for the next impulse. If that is the case, let's take out some highs then. Let's break through some structure. It would be nice if we can take out this high here as well, because it's the high that gave us the lows. Of course, that took out that low there as well. So if you could break through that as well, that would be very, very nice indeed. And that will leave behind some nice resistance, turn support, which will be a nice for a retest and some longs. And then of course, in terms of targets, I'll be expecting us to push back to highs. So in terms of an entry, there isn't really one right now. And again, I would refrain from trading inside of this area here as well. It's just very, very choppy. It's basically consolidation. So unless, you've got a strategy around trading consolidation, then have at it. But if not, then I don't think these are prime conditions to be looking to do anything. I would wait for price to break out, show me some momentum to the upside, and then yeah, we're looking to follow that back to highs. For me, gold is still very, very bullish. Look at this impulse, short pause there, massive impulse there. The market is still very bullish, and the chances are we're most likely going to push back to that high at some point. Then it's just my job just to time it and make sure I'm not getting to the trade too early. So yeah, waiting for a break of structure and then we'll look to follow that momentum higher. No problem. Vayan Katesh, hope I'm saying that correctly. Happy to help, Jeremiah. Claire, the yen pairs have been so weird. Can you look at GJ and share your thoughts and direction, please? No problem. Thank you, Jamila, for subscribing. Appreciate it. But the yen pairs have been very crazy. The yen pairs have been very crazy, and as I've been saying for the past kind of week, I'm not looking to touch the yen pairs at all, really. Because the way they've been moving with these massive spikes, or flash crashes, I like to call them. It's not really a flash crash because it takes time, but you know what I mean. These massive dips to the downside, and they happen very spontaneously as well. So I'm not, because if I'm looking to trade the yen pairs, I'm only going to be looking to buy. Well, we're seeing very convincing trends on the higher time frames, daily, weekly, monthly. I'm only going to look to buy in these conditions. But the only downside about buying these conditions is that you're kind of going against, these kind of spikes to the downside. If they were to the upside, then great, but they're not. So that's my only worry with trading the yen pairs, really. But yeah, in terms of technical analysis, especially with pound yen, everything is still very much to the upside. We're still seeing confident momentum higher. Price is still respecting price swing lows. This is textbook bullish behavior all day long. So I'm only going to be looking to buy in these conditions. In terms of finding a buy right now, I think the train's left the station a little bit. We've already kind of printed that higher low in. So if you're not in the trade, I wouldn't really try and chase anything right now, especially with the current conditions of the yen pairs. You can see that kind of slow, sluggish move higher. Kind of repeating that again. So, I think there's a good chance we do something like this at some point. So I wouldn't try and chase the move right now with the yen pairs. If you're not already in the trade, then if anything, shorts might be the better option. So yeah, that's kind of my outlook with pound yen. But in terms of direction, I'm still pretty bullish, and we'll be looking to see if we can push back to the high, which is at 197.735 more or less. So that's still where I do expect price to end up, unless something crazy happens, like we go and break structure. So we do something like this, then yeah, that bias will be thrown out the window. And maybe I'll be looking for shorts, depending how things set up. But as long as we keep maintaining these higher lows here, there we go, my camera is blocking it, then yeah, I'm expecting price to eventually nestle back at the highs. So yeah, that remains the plan. Vesco, why you don't believe in bigger pullback, new lower low and lower high, ask it for gold, NAS and SP. It's just because that's where the trend is, that's where momentum lies. It's not that we can't do a bigger pullback. It's a good question to ask, by the way, but it's not that it's not that we can't do that bigger pullback. We can't form another lower high and come back down from another lower low. That is always a possibility, 100%. But for me, I'm looking at the current conditions of the market, which is still very, very bullish. There's a lot of momentum in the market. So I'm not going to favor try and look for sells and lower highs in these conditions when it's not high probability. In these conditions, the probability does lie with the bulls, and the probability does lie that we are going to print a higher low to push back to highs. It's not 100%, it's not guaranteed, but if you look at these conditions in the market and you go and look at these type of scenarios in the market, more often than not, we do push back to the high. More often do not, we do create a higher high as well. So I'm not going to be trying to anticipate lower highs in these conditions, although it could very much happen, but I know that we're likely to push back to high. Same thing with NAS and same thing with S&P. We're very likely to print higher highs and push back to the high there. Of course, I could be wrong. We could form a lower high, we could come back down. That's why we manage our risk. That's why we use stop losses, of course. But yeah, if the direction is clear to me and setup looks good, then I'm favoring higher low. So yeah, that's the reason why. What's your strategy to trade gold markets? Well, it's very, no problem, Glenn. It's very simple. I'm just looking, again, the way I trade every market is pretty much the same. FX and commodities, well, commodities, basically just gold and silver. I don't really trade oil and any other commodity. But yeah, in terms of gold, like I said, I was looking for a break and a retest of the structure here to long. All I'm wanting to see really is a sign that the buyer is coming back into the market, because this for me is still very much just a correction of this larger bullish move. So I want price to kind of say to me, okay, we're breaking out of that correction and we're now going to continue back to highs. So essentially what I'm looking for is a move like that and a higher low, because we've got the low here. Looks like maybe a higher low. If that is the case, great. Let's break the high. And then that will be my area of interest for some long. So that is the kind of plan for, that's the kind of plan I've got for gold there. So yeah, in terms of the markets I'm interested in, I'm still liking Euro USD. Of course, If that can pull back, that would be nice. Keep an eye on pound USD, but I still like Euro USD a lot more. So I think I'll just focus on Euro. Of course, they're very similar markets. If I'm shorting Euro USD, shorting pound USD, I'm pretty much doing the same trade. But yeah, in terms of direction, I'm still very bearish on pound, looking at a move back to the low there. Aussie dollar, I'm not really a big fan of this one, even though I'm pretty bullish on the dollar pairs. This one's just a little bit, yeah, the price action isn't that great. It's kind of just of a big consolidation. And again, I don't want to touch the market when we're in this consolidation. If you can break out, up or down, fantastic. Then I'm interested. But if we're in that range, it's a no-no for me. Yeah, Euro USD looks the best. Dollar CAD, that's kind of gone as well. And dollar CHF is interesting because we've seen a really sharp move down, and I've been talking about USD CHF as in this is the place that I am looking to sell, but we just haven't quite broken structure yet. No problem, Basco. But we just haven't quite broke structure yet, so I'm kind of waiting to see if we can start to break some lows first, as in this massive level of support, and then I'll be interested to start shorting. Pretty much what I was talking about last week. If you can break for the low, see a retest of some structure, fantastic. Then I've got some nice opportunities to short, and I'll probably be looking at push back into the low here. Even though this does go against my bias on dollar, but bias on dollar could be wrong. Even though we're almost out the woods. I said yesterday that if dollar is going to roll over, this is kind of the place where I expect it to do so. If dollar is going to see some weakness, then we're still kind of in that area. I expect it to kick in now. If we start breaking through this, especially confidently, see some strong candle closes above, then yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before we see a push back to 106,500 and 107 eventually. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for gold, hence why I'm very short bias on Euro USD. At the moment, only currently in Euro Aussie, which I'll be managing, but again, I don't really have many pairs that might give me setups at the moment. There's a few pairs I do like, but they're not really in entry territory right now. So yeah, I have to stay patient from that. But in all honesty, I was only planning probably to get trades on Euro USD and Euro Aussie this week. So managed to get Euro Aussie. I'm happy with that. If I can get Euro USD as well, then that's fantastic. Yeah, there might still be a move up higher. Depends what jobless claims does today, but I'm looking at this area here. The fact that this move is still fairly corrective as well. I would not be surprised by another move up, see what we can do on a rejection, and then maybe come back down again. So hopefully we can see something like that. But yeah, in terms of the dollar pairs, I'm always looking for dollar continuation apart from dollar Swiss. So I have to stay patient for a breaking structure there. In terms of the yen pairs, all still looking relatively bullish, but again, I'm just not a fan of the conditions, so I'll be sitting on the sidelines for them. But they actually are very bullish. So I know a few people who are in some longs there. So yeah, some nice moves higher. Pound USD view. So yeah, as I said, with pound USD, looking at some downside back into the low. Still just looking at a break and retest of the range here, which we had not long ago, but we had a bit of a fake out. Not a fake out, a fake back in. of the range, because this was our fake out to the upside, and price broke to the downside, and I was looking for the retest of the low of the range for us to continue back to the downside. So very, very textbook stuff here with pound USD, and we had a big wick. I think this was NFP, big push higher. Definitely would have taken a lot of liquidity above the prior highs there, but now we have rejected the low a lot more confidently. So now I'm expecting that continuation back to the low over the next few days or so at 1.235. So yeah, shorts look the best for pound USD. In terms of entries, it's not really looking that particularly great for entries. Yeah, it would be nice to have entered and put a stop loss above the high there. Yeah, that's kind of the best place for a stop loss at the moment, because it gives you the most security that even if you do mess around, you can still be in for a move. And if price does take your stop loss, then it most likely means we aren't selling off, because at that point we'll be confidently back in the range and we'll probably be doing something like that instead. So that would be the nice place for a stop loss, but I'm not sure, again, a stop loss back up there would be the best in terms of risk to reward if you're entering these prices here. So next best entry might just be a breaking retest of the low here. If we can break through that, that could be a nice little retest on the lower time frames. Force some shorts back into the low. Either which way though, I would only be looking to sell. But yeah, in terms of entries, a tricky one. See how we break this low. If you can do it nice and impulsively, then that could be a nice low to trade from. If it's quite corrective and price is just slowly breaking through, then that's a different kettle of fish. Yes, we do have pound rates today. I will cover the interest rate decision on the stream. I'll just leave the stream going a little bit extra few minutes at the end, so you can see what the news does. But yeah, we got it at 12. The rates are expected to stay the same. So we'll see what that does to pound, whether we see some strength or weakness, or whether the rates don't actually stay the same, and then that will be very interesting. But yeah, they probably will do. But yeah, so 12 o'clock, 5.25. I'll leave the stream going and see what happens. Is anyone in any pound positions? Is anyone trading any pound pairs? There we go. More pound cut out 3 positions on the sell from last evening. What do you think, my friend? It's difficult. It's difficult because the technicals will go out the window in about an hour's time when the news does come out. So you do have a decision to make here. Is are you going to see this trade through the news? Are you prepared to see the trade through the news? I think that's a better question. And what I mean by that is, okay, if the news doesn't go your way and we see a big push up, worst case scenario, you get slipped a little bit. That's kind of the worst case scenario. If you can stomach that, then of course, do what you need to do. In terms of the technicals, like I said, I'm still quite bullish on pound CAD, but it hasn't broken the high yet, so it's not like I'm expecting upside. At the moment, it still needs to break through the high for the setup I've been talking about to actually be valid and actually be in play. For all I know, pound CAD could still very much roll back over, and then yeah, I won't be looking to take any sort of longs. So yeah, we're still holding structure, still doing it relatively okay. Again, it's still quite lackluster price action. It's not like we've rejected the area really heavily. It's still kind of a little bit range bound there. So it's a difficult one. I mean, the thing is, we don't know what's going to happen. So all you have to do is make sure you're protecting your downside. And then if you want to hold the trade through the news, hold the trade through the news. If you don't want to hold the trade through the news, then, close out the trade early. There's no right or wrong, really. Certainly without a bit of hindsight, there's no right or wrong. It's just, you're doing the right thing in terms of managing your account, managing your trades. But in terms of what I'm expecting next, like I said, I'm still bullish on pound CAD. I want to see price break the high. If it doesn't break the high, then there is no bullish setup for me. But yeah, it's an interesting one because yeah, we've got the Bank of England interest rate decision coming up, so it is awkward. Yeah, like I said, I do have that bullish bias, so that's kind of what I'm looking for in terms of technicals, but we'll see what the pound news does do. I mean, if you're in profit, then I would say close some positions or close some partial profits at least. Ben, I'm going to wait for pound news. Hopefully there will be a good opportunity after for a GU short. Yeah, hopefully so. If you do see some weakness there, that could rip through the zone quite nicely, and that could leave behind some nice shorts late in the day. Maybe not late in the day, maybe tomorrow, because it will have to push and then pull back. So yeah, probably tomorrow, if not early next week. But pound is a little bit strong this morning in anticipation to the news. As you can see, a bit of a bullish engulfing candle there on the hourly chart. Pound yen still pushing. Was actually breaking through a little bit there. Pound CAD trying to push up as well. Euro pound pushing down. So yeah, pound is a little bit strong in anticipation for the news. We'll see if that can continue. Again, it's not like, okay, we're bullish now. That's what we're expecting. That could definitely change very, very quickly. Euro USD Aussie shorts on my watch list intraday. Okay, we'll have a look. See. Rayat, how do you analyze and trade any detailed video? Yes, I do have videos on that. If you go to my Forex education playlist, I do have a few videos on how I analyze and how I trade essentially. So if you go through that playlist, again, I can't remember the title of the videos, but the title of the videos will tell you what the video is about. So go through that playlist, you'll find videos there. I opened long at Sunday night. Pound CAD didn't give me anything else apart from a little profit. It's looking like those fake candles, candle up then drop. Wait, are you long or short on pound CAD? Yeah, you long and short. But yeah, they could be doing that as well. I'm not gonna lie. They could be pushing up, getting people sucked into some buys, and then floodgates can open. But again, I'm not really a big fan of trying and trade the news in terms of buying before and then anticipating what the news is gonna do. Unless you've got data to back that sort of thinking up, that sort of trading up, then yeah, fair enough. But if you don't have data and you're kind of going off instinct, then it's a recipe for disaster. Because it's gonna, even if it does work, it's like, yeah, it does work. I made a bit of money, and then you're gonna do it again next time. Maybe it works again, and then you're gonna size up, and then the third time is where it actually wrecks you. So it's a disaster waiting to happen, even if it does work a few times in the beginning. Trading after the news, however, that's not as such as a bad thing, because sometimes that can actually give good setups as well if you know what you're doing. Okay, short from last night. So yeah, you would be in a bit of profit if you're short from last night, because I think we closed around here or here. Actually, maybe not in profit actually, because yeah, we were trading around here last night. So you would have been, but this candle's pushed up. So yeah, again, I don't want to give people advice in terms of what to do with a trade and what to do with profits and loss, because it's always such a tricky subject, because at the end of the day, it's your trade, it's your money, it's your account. My biggest tip is just manage your downside. That's the most important thing. As long as your downside is managed, if you walk away for profit, whoop-de-doo. If you walk away for loss, at least that loss is managed. CJ, I watched the video you recommend yesterday. They were useful. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad they helped. 10am EuroCAD. Okay, we'll take a look. But yeah, for Taji, who said Euro USD and Aussie dollar shorts intraday. Yeah, I can see some logic there. I mean, we have been pushing. I mean, depends how intraday you're looking. Could be talking about the 5-minute chart. So yeah, intraday we are seeing some downside for both Euro and Aussie. So yeah, I can see some sense there. That could be a nice little trade there. I think I would prefer Euro dollar though. But yeah, in terms of EuroCAD, what's EuroCAD been doing? Okay, we're respecting some resistance here. So yeah, EuroCAD, I'm actually really liking the buys of EuroCAD as well, believe it or not. Of course, once we break through the resistance, then I'll actually be looking for setups. But essentially, we've been very slowly but surely printing these higher lows here, and I'm looking to see if we can push back to the high there at 1.5. And if that's the case, I want to see a strong break of the high here, and then I'll be looking at some long opportunity on a pullback. So that's what I'm looking at EuroCAD. I know it's the daily chart, but that's essentially what I would like, because EuroCAD has just been ranging really, and I don't want to be trading inside of that range. That's not where my edge lies. So there's no point in me trying to look or force anything in this kind of box. But if you can break outside of that and stay outside of that, then I do think a bit of a bullish trend can form. And our next key level of resistance, our next major swing high, would be the high all the way up there. And yeah, that will be essentially the target, but I'll speak on that closer to when we actually do get the setup. But this is kind of what I'm looking at for EuroCAD, which is fairly similar to PoundCAD as well. And of course, they're very similar pairs too. But at the moment in time, we actually are rejecting that resistance, so there's still a lot of work to be done, because we could still definitely reject this and completely sell off. But if we don't and we start breaking through, then things get interesting. But that is what I'm looking at for EuroCAD. A big breakout, and I'm looking at pullbacks. Uh, 1.76 something in there, took it 1.7655. How am I going to EURAD? Pound CAD. 1.7655. Wait. Yeah, I think you might mean 71655. Because 76 is all the way up there. So yeah, it's 71655. So yeah, it's more or less around here. So yeah, you're on a bit of profit there. So yeah, I mean, I'll put the ball in your court since it's your trade in your account. But like I said, my biggest advice would be just manage the risk in terms of what's going to happen. I could say it might go down. I might be right, I might be wrong. It doesn't really matter really what I say, to be honest, because the market will do what it wants. So as long as you just protect that downside, and then yeah, go for it. If that means taking some partials or being a stop loss maybe, then do what you need to do. Yeah, trading new release isn't clever in my opinion. Even if you get the direction right, you don't know how far it's going to go with the other direction. Yeah, of course, that's happened many times, especially with Fed interest rate decision, when we have the numbers come out and then you got the press conference in half an hour. Many times I've seen price push up for half an hour and then completely reverse for the next like 2 or 3 days after. So yeah, if you're going to trade the news release, unless you got data backed up going into a news release that, okay, I know there's a 60% chance that we normally do this before the news. Okay, if that's the case, then yeah, you've got some some meaning behind that. But if you're just trying to do it off instinct, off whatever, then it's a recipe for disaster as well. Not necessarily because you could be right or wrong, because that's the same with any trade. It's just because the news can be very hefty and be very volatile. So if it's when you do take that loss, you could be slipped very, very badly as well. So you gotta protect yourself from that. What's up, loyalty family? Welcome to the stream. Your Euro Aussie trade going on well. I missed it. Looking for retracement to 71% fib for a possible short. Yeah, I mean, again, for me, I do look at Fibonacci as well, but I use it mainly as a confluence to my trades. I think we got to the 50% before I did take the entry. I don't think we quite made it to 0.618, but the key thing, the key reason why I got short is the retest of this level and the rejection of it. We could still retrace higher, but this is where I'm getting involved. This is where I like to take my trades, and of course looking for a push back to the low there. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll be managing the trade closely. We don't really have major news for Euro Aussie for the rest of the week, so I don't expect anything too crazy for Euro Aussie, but we'll see how things go. But yeah, still very bearish on this one, looking for a push into the low. And I did have a second area of interest, which might have lined up with your 71% fib, which was this level up here. Even if we do break through this level, then I'll look to take another trade at that level, but that might be closer to your 71%. So if price didn't reject this, I would have been looking for shorts up here, but we did reject that, so I'm in the trade. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. If you got stopped out, you don't know how much you're gonna get slipped as well. It's possible to work out your risk reward before the trade. Yeah, impossible. Yeah, exactly. That's the key thing, really. It's not that you could be right or wrong, because again, you could take a trade wherever and be right or be wrong. The news just adds an extra risk factor to it, and of course a reward factor to it as well, which is why it's so appealing to trade the news, because when you're right, you're right, and you're right very quickly as well. If you're swinging a trade 1 to 3R, 1 to 4R, it might take, well, depends on the time frames you're trading, might take a few hours or a few days or a few weeks to get to that level. But if you catch the news correctly, it could be done within an hour or even less, in minutes, and get some healthy risk reward, which is why trading news is attractive. But you have to remember the downside. Why are you bullish on gold? You think this level will hold? I'm bullish on gold because of the current conditions of the market. It's been very, very bullish for the past few weeks, and I'm looking at a retracement of that move. So this move here, I'm looking at a retracement of that move for another push higher. That's why I'm bullish on gold. I'm not going to be buying into that level of resistance, of course not. I'm waiting for it to break, and then I'll be looking at opportunities on the retest of it. But yeah, I'm very bullish on gold because that's the direction of the daily, the weekly, the monthly. All the three major time frames are pointing up. So when that's the case, and we got those three time frames all in sync, all pointing the same direction, then 9 times out of 10, I'm only going to be looking at trades that favor that direction. So yeah, that's why I'm bullish on gold. I never pay attention to the news, and to be honest, I don't have issues with my trades. I think that fundamentals are confused. Yeah, I mean, I don't pay much attention to fundamentals either in terms of the exact release numbers and stuff like that, and sentiment and stuff like that. So, again, I'm a very technical trader as well. So all I do is look for my entries and exits based on technicals as well. But I am definitely aware of the news because of the risk side of things as well. Especially if you're going to take entries on like the hourly time frame and below, you do have to be very, even 4H sometimes as well. But you do have to be aware because, for example, if NFP comes out and you're just about to take a trade just before, you're exposing yourself to some slippage there. Again, it's not that you could be right or wrong with the news. It's just the risk side of things, really, which is why I keep an eye on it. But yeah, in terms of planning trades from the news, yeah, I don't do that either. True, that's why I'm watching my trades on those times that if I see something I don't like, I'm just out and not waiting for miracles. Yeah, fair enough. Again, as long as you manage your trade accordingly, you're not going off of a limb, then you're good. Let's hope it's not another consolidation day in the EU. Yeah, I mean, we do have news this afternoon. Of course, we got Bank of England in the next 50 minutes, but we do have jobless claims. Oh, we got a Euro speech. I didn't see that at 1:15. We'll see what happens with that. But we do have jobless claims at 1.30 for dollar. So I do expect a bit of movement today from euro dollar. I do expect a bit of movement. But it's a relatively quiet week altogether. Do you hold longer term investments, Miko? No, not really at the moment. I do have some in crypto, but nothing major. Yes, well, I do trade. I've been trading live for a long time, but recently I have started trading prop. Gold to 2,500 May. Lucky I didn't trade it. Yeah, I mean, I'm still looking at that move, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people are still thinking about 3K for gold, and me included as well. But I think it probably will take a little bit longer than people are thinking. I mean, of course, we had a lot of momentum, so it looks like price is going to hit that in like 5 seconds, really. But if you look at the bigger picture of things with the breakout we saw a few weeks ago, a retracement is kind of needed, but with the current momentum in the current phase, I wouldn't be expecting us to get to 3K, because if you look at the prior bullish cycle with gold, which was this move here, I mean, actually you could probably say it was this move here, but this move here was crazy. This took us from a break of 876, so 876, all the way to 1,900. So that's a double in price, the last big bullish cycle. This one, of course, we didn't really push too far. We got to the high and started having trouble. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this phase here is just this phase in continuation. So a double of this high would take us to 4K almost, which is all the way up there. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do that. But yeah, in terms of gold just pushing high, I think fundamentally it's almost inevitable. It's almost inevitable. And yeah, that's another reason why I'm bullish on gold as well. The fundamentals are very bullish on gold. But again, I don't really trade fundamentals, but I know that gold is likely to move higher. And if the technicals favor it as well, then that's a great trade for me. Can you chart up some meme coins? Nah, I don't look at meme coins. I do not look at meme coins, Ben. There's no point doing technical analysis on meme coin as well. But I know it would be a nice laugh though. A long position goal like 2 months ago from 2,200 to 2,300. I was very happy and running with profits, but after that I didn't found a way to enter too much ping pong. Yeah. I mean, I was looking to enter gold after that first rip, after that first kind of big move here. I was hoping for a bigger pullback, but all we kind of saw was just consolidation. Then price broke higher again. So I think this is now the time for me to actually take advantage of the retracement. Because here there wasn't much. Now we're actually seeing something, so now I'm actually liking what I'm seeing. Because I've got a feeling I can get into a trade here. And again, now the fact that I'm trading with a trail stop loss, I feel like I can take advantage of a big move. Should it happen, of course. I lost a lot of money in BTC. Don't trade it, my friend. Again, I've traded Bitcoin a couple times out of just interest, but I've never traded with size. I've never looked to trade it as part of my the pairs I've looked at. I've been looking at Bitcoin for a while, from a technical standpoint, but again, I don't trade it. I'm very comfortable with the FX pairs I trade, and gold and silver as well, so I'm not really looking to expand. If anything, I'll look to kind of take back some pairs maybe, and maybe try and add maybe an indice in there as well, just for a bit of versatility. But yeah, Bitcoin, of course, crypto in general does move a little bit different to FX. It's not as liquid as FX market, so it's going to be a little bit more different. Of course, technical analysis is still technical analysis, but of course, just by looking at the market, you can see it's a little bit different to your standard Euro USD. So on that note, I'd rather just focus on the FX, where I know I'm more experienced with. But maybe as Bitcoin does get bigger and more stable, then it might find its way into my watch list at some point. Pound is ripping. Yeah, I think it's just getting excited to do it. I remember seeing this last time. Pound was very strong going into the news as well. I can't remember what happened last time, if that strength continued or be reversed. But yeah, it's getting excited for the news and could be sucking in a lot of traders right now, to be honest, because you got Bank of England interest rate coming up. You got some nice momentum here. Some people were trying to anticipate this just before the news. All my 4 months profits on Forex all goes like nothing I've ever see. The beginning I made 10k in one day, and you can guess what I lost now. Stay away, my tip. Yeah, it's I mean, of course there are people who successfully trade crypto and specialize in Bitcoin or Ethereum, but yeah, I think it's just, if you're not used to it, don't go in with size. I think that's the biggest thing, really. Yeah, like I said, I'm not very experienced trading Bitcoin. I do look at Bitcoin a lot, but in terms of actually trading Bitcoin, I'm not very experienced there, so I would not be looking to jump into anything really. And I think that goes with anything as well. Bitcoin, FX, indices, whatever. If you don't have experience, don't go in with size. Just trade on a demo, really. Trade on a demo, get used to it there. Of course, demo is slightly different, but at least you can't lose money. But yeah, you won't be the first to lose money on Bitcoin. I'll tell you that for free. Do you decide what you're going to do with the pound CAD position? You're going to hold it for the news, or you're going to close it, or maybe take some partials? Because yeah, pound is a little bit strong, but that could be deceiving. That could be very deceiving. Hopefully we can see some weakness. I'm actually favoring some weakness for the jobless claims this afternoon, just because it might give me some opportunities to trade some dollar pairs, especially Euro USD on a pullback. Maybe even NZD USD. I like this one as well. Potentially something like this, a double top of the high, that could interest me in a sell. You have come back into a really nice area, retesting this prior low turn resistance, and essentially looking at another lower high developing. One over there, second over there, third over there. and a fourth. And then I'm looking for a push back to the low there as well. So if we could see one more push up higher, that could definitely interest me in some sells. Same thing with Euro USD as well. But it's a bit of a big move, so I'm not sure we'll see that strength though. Russ shorted dollar yen. Stop loss 156.05. TP 152. Okay, worth the risk. Would you risk it for a chocolate biscuit? I mean, again, as long as you're managing a risk, you know, most trades are worth the risk as long as you're trading with an edge and, you know, fit the rules well. You know, as long as you're not betting the farm on the trade, then yeah, most trades are definitely worth the risk. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is just that the trend is still very strong to the upside in the higher time frames, daily, weekly, monthly, all pointing up. So that's what I don't like about shorting any of the yen pairs at the moment. Yeah, we are coming back to some nice prices where we could see a nice down move. You know, I've been talking about the kind of slow edged move higher and then we kind of collapse. I'm actually, you know, favoring that at some point as well. But which is kind of why I'm staying out of longs. But yeah, it's just difficult because the trend is so very strong on the up. And 152 is a pretty big level as well, so it makes for a good target. Of course, prior major high, sold us off there, price broke through. Now having a retest of that level, and now we've seen some upside from it as well. So 152 is very, very big level and definitely could attract price. But because the high time frame is so bullish, yeah, it's difficult for me to short. Well, pound is really trying to push up. Ross, do you use a specific entry signal or is it just a price point? As in, do you like set a limit order and it tagged you in? Because yeah, I'm not really seeing much of an entry signal. Maybe the wick's down to 15. That's why small lots only. Yeah. If you're gonna protect your downside as well, then you know, reduce your risk. Worst case scenario, you take an SL. Heard some selling to come near 156 tap, so worth the risk. Only 50 pip stop loss. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is pretty small stop loss for a yen pair. Also 50% retracement level. Oh, okay. Is that from this swing high here to the low? I mean, that was pushing past the 0.618. So yeah, it's not a bad place for a sell. It's just I don't like what I'm seeing on the high time frame trend. Just a little bit too bullish for my liking. How is your Aussie doing? Looking okay, seeing some nice downside, but still got a long way to go. And entered a little bit late as well. I would like to have entered after the hourly entry here on this candle. Again, I was busy at the time, but I do get the 4H entry there as well, so I'm happy with that. A little bit of room on the stop loss, so we'll see how far that we can go. Again, I will be looking to trail stops as well, so it could well go a lot further than that low, but I'll be trading to see. And if that does fail, then I'll be looking at a second entry up here for the exact same move back to the low, which will be a better risk reward as well. So even if it does fail and that one plays out, then we'll recoup the losses and then some as well. So hopefully I can get that pullback, but hopefully we can just sell off anyway. I mean, the thing is, even if that does fail and that plays out, I'd actually still make more. I'll still make a bigger return if that loses and that wins, because let's say if that's a 1 to 4, then I'll be up 1 to 3. If that plays out, it's a 1 to 2.5. So it might actually be better if it fails first than works. But yeah, I'd rather just take the win. So yeah, we'll be keeping a close eye on Euro Aussie. Euro NZD for me is a close number 2. It's a very similar pair to Euro Aussie as well. And if it can break through the level of support here, then that is exactly what I'll be looking at as well. And if I can get Euro Aussie to break even, take the risk off the table, then I'll be looking to add Euro NZD to the portfolio as well. Take some trades with this one if we can, of course, break the low. Looking at this as a big kind of triple top. 1, 2, 3, and now looking at breakthrough. Wishing you luck. It looks good. Appreciate that. Appreciate that more. Yeah, I mean, again, the setup fits the plan well. The setup fits the plan well. So if it fits the plan well, then yeah, I've got to take the position. But it ticks all the boxes. Momentum's looking good. Nice entry signal. Retesting a nice low. And probability of us getting back to that low is pretty high. When we do make these lower highs, it's about a good 70-75% chance that we do come back to the price swing low. So I know that there's still likelihood that we do see some more downside. We've had a pretty nice corrective pullback after a really nice impulse, retesting some structure here. Like I said, I do have that level up there as well if it does want to pull back a little bit higher, so be it. But this is my number 1 opportunity. Had a nice rejection, so we'll see how that one plays out. But again, it's the entry in the 4H, so it's going to take some time to play out. If it does play out, it's not a trade that's going to just work instantly because of the time frames I'm trading on. Again, stop loss 62.9 pips there, target 159 pips. So it's going to take its time. Same with Euro NZD as well. So now my focus will be moved over to Euro USD. So yeah, hopefully we can get that push, but beggars cannot be choosers. The market will give me what it wants to give me. Pound USD still looking pretty bearish, but yeah, it's reacting off that news. It'll be interesting to see what we do get from the news. Let me see what the consensus is from our viewers. I'm on a 4 hour, never scalp it, makes me nervous. Mate, I've never tried to scalp. I mean, maybe I have at one point in time, but I've never done it seriously. Scalping just gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's just too fast. It's too fast and furious for my liking, especially if you're going to be trading with size as well. You know, it's a difficult. I respect any scalper because that is some hardcore stuff right there. But I'm not built for that. I've done a poll to see what people are expecting from the news today with the interest rate coming out in about half an hour's time. See people are favouring pound weakness or strength. I know more will be hoping for weakness there. Sculpey. Yeah, Sculpey has my respect. It's in his name as well. I'm not built for scalping one bit. How long would you spend on trading related stuff a week, excluding the stuff you do on YouTube and stuff just trading analysis and journaling? Good question. I probably spend, well, in a week, well, during the week, I probably spend about, disregarding any YouTube stuff, it's probably about an hour a day, I would say, during the week. So that's 5 hours during the week. Then during the weekend, quite a few. I'll probably spend about up to 2 in terms of analysis, because I do go through all my pairs, which is like 32 pairs, analyze all together, or Forex majors or Forex minors, gold and silver. So that takes about almost 2 hours to go through. And then in terms of reviewing and planning for the next week, that's probably about another. I didn't see who subscribed. Stephen, appreciates Stephen for subscribing. Then yeah, probably in terms of journaling and reviewing, that probably takes about an hour as well. So, but then if I'm working on my edge, that could be unlimited amount of time. You know, I could spend 5 hours, 10 hours, or 1 hour potentially. So in terms of actually trading, in terms of analysis, journaling, reviewing, and then preparing for the next week, looking at 5 hours during the week and about 3 during the weekend. So that's about 8 hours altogether in terms of, you know, actively trading the markets. But then in terms of improving my edge, you know, that could be whatever amount of time. Can you check GBP pairs as we wait for the news? Yeah, sure, Lord, I'll take a look. I thrive in them conditions. Yep, that's why I tip my hat off to you, Scalpy. Not everyone's built like that. But yeah, I mean, for the pound pairs, yeah, so like I said, for pound USD, I'm very bearish on pound. Even though we're pushing up, look at that momentum there. Pound is definitely get excited before the news. But yeah, in terms of the direction, I'm still favoring pound USD back to the low here at 1.234. So I'm still pretty bearish on pound USD. Pound yen, I'm still bullish on because the yen pairs, not the yen pairs, pound yen is still printing in higher highs and high lows. From a top-down perspective, monthly, weekly days still looking bullish. We're still respecting prior lows. So pound yen, I'm still pretty bullish on. So we do have somewhat of a conflicting bias there. Pound CAD, I'm bullish on, but we need to break through the resistance first before I do look for any opportunities. So we've got some work to do there. If not, then there's no opportunity there for me. Pound Aussie, I'm bearish on, but we could do with a pullback potentially. So we might see maybe short to medium term strength Pound Aussie for a sell. So I'm bearish on Pound Aussie, but I think we might see some upside first. Pound entity, same thing as well. I'm expecting downside, but again, we might have a pullback first. Euro pound, I'm bullish on, so I'm looking for weakness there for pound. Looking to see if we can retest that level, use that as support, find a high low, and maybe break to the high. And last but not least, pound CHF. I don't really have too much to say about pound CHF. I mean, overall we do have an uptrend, but it's not an uptrend which I would want to follow. So I need to see a bigger breakout and a more convincing trend for me to long, but the market is still bullish, so I'll be bullish on pound CHF as well. Yeah, I'm transitioning to more swing trading. I was thinking about 10 hours a week is realistic. Yeah, 10 hours a week, because again, with swing trading, especially in terms of actually taking trades and managing trades, it doesn't take too long. You're just waiting to enter a trade, and then you're looking at exiting a trade and maybe managing your trade in between. Again, I only check the charts about 4 or 5 times a day. Obviously disregarding the streaming and stuff. But in terms of checking charts, in terms of keeping up to date with analysis and entries, yeah, about 4 or 5 times a day. Again, most of my analysis, 90% of my analysis is done on the weekend, because again, if you're looking at, for me, I'm looking at mainly the 4H chart. And if you look at it, there's only 6 candles per day on a 4H chart. So if there's 6 in a day, that means there'll be 30 in a week, because of course 6 times 5. So you only get 30 new candles a week on the 4H chart. And again, those 30 candles, you can pretty much confine them to a range on the weekend, because we're not going to see anything too drastically outside of that. Of course, levels might break or structure might break, and you have to adjust during the week. But most of the time, if you got yourself a nice trend, it's very likely that we're going to stay within that range for the week as well. So I can do most of my analysis on the weekend, and all I'm doing through the week is just staying up to date with things. If something changes, I'll change with it. And yeah, look and take entries and manage trades and exit trades. So yeah, less than 10 hours. But of course, in terms of spending time and developing your edge and yeah, improving as a trader, yeah, that's an unlimited amount of time. No problem, Sculpey. No problem, Lauder. I'm short bias GU and GA. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm short bias pound USD and pound Aussie as well. Might see a pullback for pound Aussie before we do sell, but I'm definitely bearish. Pound USD, again, likewise bearish, but I feel like for a good setup, we probably do need to break the support level first, and then I'll be looking at corrections underneath that and a retest to then short. But yeah, we are definitely seeing some strength at the moment, so let's see how well we keep this up. Oh, we got 20 odd minutes to the news, so we'll see what happens there. Okay, judging from the poll, most people are favoring dollar weakness. Let's see if they're correct. Okay, US 30, GR 40. As I said, with US 30, I'm favoring a lot more upside, but I'll be looking at a retest of the high, or even a retest of this high here for some longs. I would still keep an eye out of this low there as well as a target, but essentially I'm looking at a pullback and then a higher low, or maybe a retest of this level, then a higher low. But for US 30, I'm looking at this wick here as being our next higher low. And if that is going to be our next higher low, then there's a pretty good chance that we're going to push back to the high. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for US 30. GR40, I'll take a look. Scorpio, I think we may reverse. Look at the V-shaped bounce. Which chart are you talking about? Is that GU or GA? Let me quickly take a look at GR30. Okay, so last time we spoke about the good old DAX. I think we're probably trading around here. I said a retest of this area or retest of this area could be nice for a long. Looks like the second level did play out there. Came back for another bounce as well before pushing up. And you can see we're almost back at highs as well. So DAX is kind of like what I'm expecting the US indices to do. DAX is pretty much coming back into the prior all-time high. This big dip here just turned into be another higher low in that bullish sequence. Now pushing back to the high. That's exactly what I'm expecting US 30 to do. Another dip, higher low, push back to the high. US 500 dip, high low, push back to the high. US 100 dip, high low, looking for push back to the high. And the DAX seems to has already done it already. So yeah, if you're looking for opportunities now, I'll still be looking at longs, but we would need another pullback. And we have left behind a really nice level here with no prior retest as well. So this becomes a very attractive level for some longs now at 18,324. If we can get a pullback into that area, that could be a smart place to capitalize on the next high low. One down there, second there, looking at third there. Probably got some nice trendline confluence there as well. So that could be a really nice place for an entry if we do see that retracement. But yeah, 18.327 looks like a smart place for a long. DAX was seeing a lot of momentum come back into the market now. Really, really nice rally there to the upside, breaking through highs as well. We've got the all-time high there as well. I think there's a good chance we probably break through that and see some new highs as well. So yeah, let's see if we can get a pullback, high low. And I think will come a smart place for a long retest of that structure there. And that's exactly what I'm expecting the other indices to be doing. Pullbacks, high lows, and continuations. Oh, there we go. So yeah, that's what my thought process is for the indices. Bullish, bullish, bullish. What I think about Aussie CAD, yeah, I don't really like Aussie CAD. Price actions a little bit all over the shop a little bit. Again, I don't really have a clear directional bias on the daily chart. So again, when I don't have a clear directional bias, I refrain from trading that market because my direction is a big part of my edge. If the direction is not clear, then I like to just kind of stay away. Yes, we've come back into a big level of resistance, not a bad place to sell. But yeah, how far will this move go? That's the question. It's not like we've made a lower high and I'm expecting price to move back to the low. It's a different kind of scenario. So I'll keep an eye on these highs here because if the market does want to go bullish, these are probably the levels which will send the market back up again. Therefore, if you are selling from these prices, not a bad place for some targets or at least managing the trade at least. In terms of a good entry, a good setup, you could be looking at a double top here. Maybe if price can push up one more time, respect resistance, and then sell off. And then we can get some nice shorts going. And that could be some nice targets. So yeah, with Aussie CAD, I do like the sells. But it might just be a short-term sell. I wouldn't look to try and be too greedy and push back to swing low. But yeah, I don't really have a directional bias with Aussie CAD, so it's not like I'm expecting price to continue this move or reverse this move. It's just we're trading at a solid level. We might bounce, but you could still go and break. What do you think of the disallowed goal last night, offside or not? It looked offside. It did look offside, I think. I think even if the linesman didn't flag, it'll probably still be ruled offside. But it was a bit peaked though, because the new rule is don't raise your flag if it's tight. Let VAR do the thing. So I do have a lot of sympathy for Bayern Munich, but it did look a little bit offside to me. But hey, I don't know. Maybe the lines that will draw it will show it'll be onside. But I thought it was unfair. But then it's Real Madrid at the end of the day. I think they always were going to go through. Okay, gold's pushing up a little bit. I think we're seeing maybe a bit of weakness. Yeah, and USD. So USD is not out of the woods yet. Well, not out of the woods yet. We could still sell off from this area here. This is the area I said coming to the week that if dollar is going to be weak, this is where I do expect it to be weak from. That move there is still a big possibility. Just put them out of their misery. You're not being streaming makes Friday a little bit boring. Please consider doing it as time progresses. Yeah, I did say yesterday that I'll be streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday going forward. I'll be streaming it on my platform channel as well. Yeah, I will be streaming 5 days a week going forward. And I probably will switch up the times as well because, of course, Friday we've always got that. Well, we don't always have, but we do have NFP from time to time. So I probably will switch up the hours a little bit, maybe do it a little bit more in the afternoon just to cover NFP as well. But yeah, going forward, I will do 5 days a week. So yeah, you can see more of me. Hopefully your Fridays don't have to be more any more boring than it is, Lauder. Okay, we're edging closer to the news. 15 minutes to go. Like I said, I will stream a little bit longer to see what happens with the news. I'm not in any pound position, so I'm not really too bothered about what does happen. But I am looking at pound USD shorts, so I do care what happens because I do want to short pound USD. But yeah, that will be interesting to see what happens. So I will cover a few pound pairs when it does come out. Okay, you like it here. That's good. That is good. I'm glad you like it, Lauder. And speaking of liking it here, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. It really does help out. It really does help out. And make sure you subscribe as well if you haven't subscribed already. And if you are enjoying the stream, finding them useful, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But I appreciate it though. Fake it till you make it. Look at the candles. Yeah, the candle are pulling back. I just noticed that on pound USD. We are pulling back a little bit. Maybe a bit more than a little bit. Quite a lot, actually. Yeah, they are pulling back. So yeah, it's just anticipation of the news, isn't it? Price is going to have a bit of whipsaw, a bit of back and forth, sucking a few traders here and there just before the news comes out. Again, it's just a stressful thing as well, especially when you're trading with too big of a size. There's nothing worse going into a news announcement and you're trading with too much size. That is the most stressful thing ever. Euro Aussie looking okay. We'll keep a close eye on that one. I don't expect too much movement because it's Euro Aussie, it's not a pound pair. But hey, sometimes the pound news does affect our other currencies as well. Not as much as dollar, of course. What is your special pair you do trade? I don't really have. What do you mean special pair? Special pair. I don't really have a special pair. What do you mean my best performing pair? Yeah, if you mean my best performing pair is pound USD. I don't have a special pair. I trade all Forex majors, all Forex minors, gold and silver. But yeah, if you mean my favorite pair or my best performing pair, it's pound USD. It is pound USD, even though it did stop me out last week. But it is still my best performing pair. I didn't think I took a loss last year on pound USD. I only think I had like maybe 5 or 6 trades last year on pound USD, but I don't think any of them was a loss. However, this year I've had like three trades on pound USD, 2 was a loss, 1 was a break even. So it hasn't been treating me well this year. Maybe you're gonna call the weakness. What are your least favorite currencies? I think CHF and JPY aren't usually as clean as others. Yeah, my least favorite. I mean, there's a clear winner for my least favorite currency pair. It's Aussie New Zealand dollar. Absolutely horrendous price action. Horrendous price action. I would say close number two would be Euro Pound. But in terms of actual currencies, I don't actually mind Swiss. I don't mind Swiss. It probably would be, yeah, it probably would be my least favorite in general in terms of like Aussie Swiss, Euro Swiss, CAD Swiss. But it does have some nice moves. I've caught some really nice trades in the past with CHF pairs. It's very slow. It's very kind of corrective, but it does have some really nice swings. So I don't actually mind CHF pairs. JPY pairs are nice as well. They can be a little bit all over the place, but when they're trending well, they provide some nice opportunities. So yeah, you probably are right. CHF and JPY aren't. Yeah, I don't really have currencies which I don't like. To be fair, I have a currency pairs which I don't like Aussie, New Zealand dollar, Euro pound, but CHF. If I didn't really like them, I wouldn't trade them. CHF, they do give me some nice swings. I have to say the spread is a little bit awful, especially if you're going to hold it overnight as well. I tried to make sure that I'm in the trade, that I'm well into profit, or if price is kind of around my break even, around my entry, I will remove my stop loss overnight because the spread can widen so much. So yeah, here the price action is absolutely awful in NZD-CHF. But then you do get some really nice swings as well. This is a relatively nice swing. That's a relatively nice swing there as well. That's a nice swing there. Price action a little bit awful there. That's a relatively nice swing. Nice swing there as well. Yeah, price action awful. Not bad, but there is some nice swings I can catch there as well. So yeah, price action isn't the smoothest, 100%. My favorite is definitely the majors dollar pairs. There's my most traded as well. Yeah, AN and EG are shocking. Yeah, they are shocking, 100%. Horrendous pairs to trade. Can't remember the last time I took a trade on Aussie New Zealand dollar. Long time ago. It's had some nice swings previously, but it's not good. It's not good at all. Well, now you made me want to see the news. Never watch it. It's okay first time. Yeah, I hope I haven't talked it up and then nothing happens. We do see that from time to time, even with interest rates as well, and the market kind of just moves sideways. Yeah, I mean, welcome to the show. We'll see what happens with the news. Like I said, I'm not in any pound pairs, so I'm not really too interested at the moment. But I'm looking to trade pound USD. I mean, if it is weak, then you're in the money. If it's strong, then we'll see what happens. But I'll get a few. Should we do that one? Yeah, I'll get a few. What is going over here? We'll get a few charts up. So we'll do pound USD over here. We do have about 6 or 7 minutes left before the news comes out. So we get pound USD over there. Let me clear the chart and I'll drop to 15 minute just for a bit more frill. This one will put it to pound yen. Wait, that all changed to pound yen. There we go, take off symbol. Okay, that's better. 15 there. Then this one will do pound CAD for more. See what happens with that one. Put that to the 15. By the way, I never do this in my personal trading, by the way. This is just to spice it up a little bit. And what should the final pound pair be? Pound USD, pound GM, pound CAD, pound Aussie, Euro pound. Yeah, let me know which final pair we should put as the pound pair. Thinking maybe pound Aussie. Or maybe Euro, I don't know. We got the main ones, pound USD, pound yen. Okay, GA, I'll put GA for the final one. I'm going to buy from the very low. I took partial and some run. Is that pound USD you're talking about? The bigger move on pound will probably come at 12:30 when the head of Bank of England speaks. Yeah, that's true as well. That is true. You could see price move one way and then move the opposite way when the press conference happens. If the interest rate stays expected, probably won't move at all much at 12. That is true as well. Yeah, I might have just talked it up and nothing happens. Okay, let me put pound Aussie there in the bottom right. Okay, so Mami GU. Okay, so we got some people in some pound pairs, so there is some money on the line here. Yeah, we'll see what happens. The poll did say 75% people favoured, there's only 16 votes, but 75% of people did favour weakness for pound. So yeah, it will be interesting. But again, news is I mean myself, again, I do trade through news because of course as a swing trader you can't dodge news. You will trade through it from time to time. I do try to avoid going into the big ones like Fed interest rate or NFP just before. I will still hold through Fed, I'll still hold through NFP, but I'd prefer want to enter that trade at least a day before. I try to refrain from getting in just before the news because that does leave me very exposed to slippage. But yeah, I will hold for news. It's part of the plan. Do you think it will affect all of them? Dan, look at the whole screen. Yeah, it will affect all of them. It will affect all of them. They're all pound pairs. All of them will be affected. Of course, some more than others, but it should affect all currencies. But then again, it depends, what the results are. Like Ben said, if it does stay at 5.25 and it doesn't change, then we probably won't see too much movement. If it comes out different from 5.25, that's when we'll see a lot of movement in the market. Whether it's up or down, I have no idea. But yeah, if it's different from the previous interest rate decision, that's when we'll see fireworks. If it comes out the same, then we might just see maybe a bit of fluctuation, but not much. But then again, we have to be careful about that speech as well at 12:30, so half an hour after the news. And then we have an ECB speech as well at 1:15, then jobless claims at 1:30. Okay, so we've got about a minute left till the news comes out. I'll look at the dollar CHF position after the news comes out Mammy? Are you Miko excited? I can't help myself, Scorpio. I can't help myself. I'm itching in my seat right now. Again, I'm not in any pound trades. I mean, I'm in Euro Aussie, and I don't think that will be affected by the news. Might be a little bit, but nothing crazy. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let the fireworks begin. Yeah, it's a very, very small move, but I'm waiting to see what the number is. Okay, it's come out as 5.25, so probably won't see too much. Ooh, wow, as soon as I said we probably won't see too much, it's absolutely bleeding. That was a heavy jinx, that. That was a big move down. Or, I mean, it is the 15-minute chart, but yeah, it was the 15-minute chart. If you put it in the grand scheme of things, it's not much really. That's the 4H. But hey, let me not speak too soon. The candle's still open, it's still live. It could push a lot through. Mate, more. You should be loving this. You're sure, aren't you? You should be loving this. That is a hefty move down. That is a hefty move down. Again, in the grand scheme of things, it's not much. It's not much. I mean, let me measure it in pips. We're looking at from the open of the candle. Yeah, on pound USD, roughly it's less than 40 pips. So this is not it's not groundbreaking, and most of the time it's not really is groundbreaking. But yeah, it is a decent move. It's a decent move. Well done, pound. For coming out as 5.25, not seeing any big increase or decrease in the interest rate. For a 40 pip move, you've done well. I mean, it's going to be a lot more pips on pound Aussie, isn't it? Probably pushing maybe 70, not quite 58. So yeah, it's not a bad move. It's not a bad move. Well done, pound. You've excited me for a few minutes there. Okay, now you make it big screen again. So yeah, we are seeing some downside here. I am looking at shorting pound USD, so I do want to see this move kind of continue actually. And then I'll be looking at pullbacks after. I think if we can break through this low, there's a very high chance that pound USD just gets right back down to the low there at 1.23. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing with pound USD. Let's hope that does continue. Dump it. Oh yeah, you are short on pound Aussie, aren't you? Damn, my 3% sell on pound gonna rock it. Yeah, that's the news coming out for you there. The news is coming out trumps for you. That's why you gotta love the news. It gives with one hand, but it can also take with the other. But today looks like it's given to some people. But it would have taken as well. It would have taken. But anyway, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. Appreciate it, Sculpey. Appreciate it. We'll have a good week and hope you do as well. And I'll catch you all next week. I think from next week, I'll probably start doing the 5 days a week in terms of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And yeah, so do look out for that. But guys, thank you so much for coming onto the stream. Really do appreciate it. Again, if I do have any updates in terms of trading, I'll let you know in the Telegram, so make sure you check that out, link in the description to that. If you have enjoyed the stream, guys, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It really does help out, and make sure you do hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But guys, appreciate everyone coming on, appreciate my moderators as well helping out. Bit of work for you guys to do today at the start, so I do appreciate it. But yeah, guys, have a fantastic rest of the week, and yeah, I'll catch you all next week.